Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here today with King Midas. As many of you know that watch my channel or know me from way back, King Midas used to be my comp rig. It had all the best of the best at the time, but King Midas is, I think, about 8 years old. And time for an update. I've updated here and there. I wanted to swap out axles to the TRX6 axles, but everybody's saying no. I would leave those axles on there, so those axles are going to stay in place. They're boom stilt housings. They have all the best of the best that's inside. Chromoly axle shafts, hardened helical cut gears. It's underdriven in the rear. I believe it's 330s in both rear axles, 3-to-1s in the front. I didn't want to go real freeway gears. I didn't want to go with the 270s that were out at the time. Most of these parts are hard to get these days. But recently, I was going to take it out to Alien Hill with my crawler buddies, Paul and those guys, and with the fault line crawlers, and King Midas didn't want to fire up, which is unusual because it's always been an extremely reliable rig. So I went through the Mamba X programming again. You know how you pull the trigger, you know, when you turn it on, you know, forward, reverse, neutral, and it makes all the beeps and stuff, and it worked. Well, the next day when I went to Alien Hill, it didn't want to fire up regardless of what I did. So it is getting a complete electronic overhaul except for the revolver motor. So anyway, just take the cage off the back or tilt it up. Ah, things are falling. And take the cab off. I have here's the old revolver motor. This isn't my oldest motor. I have an older motor that's, oh my goodness, maybe 10 years old. And it's a censored revolver. This is my second oldest motor, I believe. It's a KV, 1800 KV. I have, what were these? AX10 2-speed from RC 4-wheel drive. I did put new gears in it years ago, but the gears were perfect when I took it apart. So I still put the new gears in, but it had the C-clip shaft in it. It had the C-clips in it. And the new updated shaft I put in there is a hardened solid shaft that uses like O-rings or whatever it is. I don't remember, but it's a lot stronger. The ones with the O-rings tended to snap. The 2-speed still works great. Later on, I do want to put a Vanquish transmission in there that has the optional overdrive with the dig, and it's going to get that. Let me pick up my crap that fell on the ground real quick. Put that over there. Anyway, the Mamba X is going to come out. I'm not sure if the Mamba X is a problem or if this really old SR410 receiver is the problem. It doesn't matter to me. It's coming out anyway. And it's going to get, King Midas is going to get this Rhino AM32 ESC that has, Hobbywing calls it FOC, but I think there's another name for it that I don't remember. And it's good for, oh my goodness, I can't remember if it's 6S or 8S, but it's never going to see that. It's just going to see 3S. And it has a massive 10 amp BEC, and it's 8 amp continuous, I think, for power. And I don't think it's ever going to get close to those numbers. And then I didn't buy it, but my daughter and my youngest son, my training partner, bought me I can't even get this thing open. Give me a second. FlySky, the FS GT5. I just found out they had a GT7. I should have asked for that for Father's Day. Because it has a it has a knob. Here, let me pull the radio out. Oh, my desk is so filthy, but it's not going to get cleaned till Proline by the Fire's over with. But apparently the 7, these knobs are closer together, and it has a 5 knob right here, and I'm hoping the 5 knob has you know, like it can switch from crab to front and rear steering, to rear steering only, and maybe even the option to switch it to a dig, you know, because I want to buy one, a GT5 7, and put it on my Ridge Runner and run some dual 40 amp Rhino ESCs in that one. But anyway, let's get back to King Midas. Put that back there, put that back over there. I'm going to tear all this stuff out, and I'm going to solder up the ESC and see if I can get this FlySky radio going. And I'm not going to show you any soldering. You've seen all that. I think I posted a video on that anyway. My soldering, I did it in extra speed fast, but you guys don't want to see that crap anyway. That's going to be the update, and then I'll show a running video. Hey, while I'm not showing a soldering tutorial or anything like that, when you're soldering in JST plugs or any other plug you might want to use for your lights and your winch controller and things like that, I used to go solder in at the plug. The JST plugs, I don't do that anymore. I put a small slice in the side of the wire, and I take either a very small screwdriver or X-Acto knife, and I poke through the wires and open up a small hole, and I put the end of the bare wire of the JST plug around there, and I wrap it, I twist it, and then I solder it. But I always make sure that I put the slices on opposite sides, so if something does come loose, like if the shrink wrap comes loose for any reason, which we know it rarely happens, but it could, they're not going to touch each other, you know. Well, I got my XT60 finished. Get the shrink wrap on, get my motor plugs on, my little banana plugs, and it'll be ready to hook up. Well, I got the Rhino all soldered up. Got 3 JST plugs on there. Got my 60 on there, and got my bananas or my plugs on there for the revolver. It looks pretty. Well, I got everything installed. Since the ESC is a lot thinner than the Mamba X, I mounted it on this side. I put a couple of screws in, put some spacers so I could use those to, I don't know if you can see that in there, so I can put zip ties on it on the front and the back that go through the transmission. I went from a Hale K winch controller to a 1060. I kind of snagged off my son's truck, so I got a brand new in the package if he wants to start using his winch again. Let's see what else. My receiver is up on top. I used to have everything on the sides right here, on the sides of the plates where my battery could go, and I had to run a battery straight up and down. Now I can run a battery sideways or up and down, and more battery if I want to. So we're going to go take this for a test drive. I pray that it's just as reliable as it has been in the past, because this has been just such an incredibly reliable rig for the last 7 years until recently. So, but I think the FlySky will be reliable, you know, for years to come. I think the issue will be with the Rhino if it's reliable. I'm always a little iffy about new technology, but even when the Mamba X came out, I mean, I jumped on that and it's been reliable. And that still might not be the issue. It might just be the receiver from the DX4 that's just old. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But let's take this for a very short drive. That's funny. So I guess we're not paying attention. Well, not the exact line I want to hit, but anyway, I like it. It's just, is it going to be as reliable as the Mamba X? Well, only time will tell on that, as I said earlier. What's funny is just when I came out here to drive the vehicle for the test drive, the shift servo burned out. It's an old ProTech one, I believe, if I remember right, you know, little steel gears and stuff. And I had the 3 wires for the motor crossing over to where the linkage was hitting, and it was over the top, so I couldn't see exactly the linkage, and it overheated the servo. My dumb butt didn't notice it. So luckily I had some cheaper servos I had collected just in case one went out on one of my TRX4s. I threw that in there and it works fine. Endpoints were already adjusted. I just had to adjust them a little more. But what do you guys think? As far as my GT5, if any of you guys have any, how have they been reliable? I mean, they seem really fun and easy to set up. I think I was putting too much thought into it, you know. And once I started messing with it, I go, man, this is pretty easy to mess with, you know, to adjust. But anyway, drop your comments. I love interacting with other RC people. Anyway, you guys have an awesome weekend. Hope to see you at Proline. Final thoughts. Let's see. Got to be careful about trying to crawl in second gear because these motors have so much torque that with the FOC, it overpowers the clutches really easy. But I'm glad that it overpowers the clutches as opposed to breaking something. And I'll probably move the wires from here over to this other side, so that way if you notice, it's really close and I had to clearance it. I'd rather just be on the safe side. Oh, this is what I was talking about. The wires right here was hitting and it bound up the servo when I went to shift it into second gear, and it burned out the servo. But that's it. Anyway, again, like, subscribe, that's always appreciated. Drop a comment. Love talking to you guys. Bye.